Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I'd say that some of you may have been waiting on this video after I've made so many individual Vampire Chronicles videos, so I sat there, I thought to myself, let's rank my top 5 vampires from the Chronicles. Before I begin, I have to tell you that you may not see the vampire you want to see in the position you want to see them. You may not even see the vampire you want to see on this list at all. I've taken a lot of things into consideration, and the age of the vampire will not be the only factor in ranking what vampire is placed where. This is my absolute all-time #1 favourite vampire series, so I'm really excited to bring this video to you all today. Make sure to comment your own top 5 most powerful vampires from the Chronicles in the comment section down below. With that being said, let's kick it off with number 5. Number 5, Armand. Besides his great power, Armand has one of the most complex, saddening, yet interesting story of all the vampires from the Chronicles. If you haven't read the book The Vampire Armand, you should. It's one of my absolute favourites. It never really slows down, which is what I love in a good book. Armand was turned at a relatively young age due to the fact he sustained life-threatening injuries. Marius had been grooming and preparing him to become a vampire the right way, making sure that he had the best of the mortal world before making his transition to an immortal. He was initially called Andre before he was freed from enslavement by Marius, who renamed him Amadeo. He was then taken by a satanic cult and brainwashed into embracing their ways under his new and final name, Armand. With age came strength for Armand, but not the strength he should have had due to the young age he was turned at. The stat quickly and easily defeated him, despite being considerably less younger than him, but Armand soon learns that drinking the blood of more powerful vampires will enhance his own strength. Armand rises to the top of his cult and commands a very dominating position, although he lost some of his sanity for some time. He was already a skillful fighter, but by the time of Lestat's reawakening, Armand was one of the most powerful vampires in existence. I really would recommend this book if you haven't read it. Number 4. Marius de Romanis. Marius de Romanis, like Armand, has such an interesting story, but make no mistake, his place on this list cannot be questioned. He is incredibly powerful and has a wealth of vampiric knowledge, as he was the carer for those who must be kept, King Enkil and Queen Akasha. Not only did Marius gain power with his age, but he also drank from Akasha several times while she was in his care. This gave him further enhanced strength, speed and agility, in addition to being less sensitive to the effects of sunlight. Marius also healed faster and could take on vampires that were much older than him. Marius had the mind gift and a very rare fire gift, something he may have inherited from drinking Akasha's blood. The fire gift is the most devastating offensive weapon a vampire can have, as they can turn any opponent into a blazing ball of fiery ash. If you've ever seen the movie The Queen of the Damned, Akasha displays this power several times and does it almost effortlessly. Marius is extremely well respected for his wisdom and power, and even becomes part of the new vampire governing body, which includes him making new vampire laws. It's only because of the following vampires being so incredibly powerful that Marius even sits at number 4. Number 3. Mahret Amikari. It had to be the red-haired witch twins, who then became the red-haired vampire twins, in at number 3, which makes it 6 vampires on this list, but both Mahret and Amikari are very similar in terms of their power, as they both became vampires near enough at the same time, even if Amikari disappeared for several millennia. I said that I didn't want the list to be decided purely on the age of vampires, but in fairness, the age of a vampire factors heavily into their strength. There's no denying that or escaping it. Mahret and Amikari are over 6,000 years old, which is almost unheard of for a vampire to be of such age as of recent times. After being separated and basically shipped to opposite ends of the planet by Akasha after she condemned them for opposing her, Mahret and Amikari each began their own different journeys. Their skin was so marble-like that it was as if it was made from the metamorphic rock itself. Mahret lived a life in civilization while searching for Amikari, although never truly finding her. The twins finally reunited in a Sonoma compound where Amikari arrived and decapitated Akasha right before everyone. Amikari was said to have roamed the South American wilderness for the better part of 6,000 years before resurfacing. The twin story is featured in The Queen of the Damned and is a fantastic read. I would advise to take your time and reflect on each part after completing it in the book. Both Amikari and Mahret are on a very similar level in terms of power, strength, speed, agility. Amikari tore Akasha's head off before she even had any sort of moment or time to react. Amikari took the sacred core into herself after Akasha's death and became the new Queen of the Damned, although she struggled to retain her mentality. Number 2. Akasha. You know, for someone so blatantly evil, Akasha is one of the most popular characters that the Vampire Chronicles has ever produced. It's like a frenzy. The comments from so many of you voicing your love for her over my previous video is just overwhelming, which I think is enhanced by Aaliyah's amazing portrayal of her, one of the very few good things about that movie. How did they get it so wrong? Anyway, Akasha, the Queen of the Damned, the first ever vampire. She is the most powerful vampire in existence, or was until a certain point in time. She had such an array of power that all who opposed her ended up in a ball of ash. Every single vampire in existence is linked to her sacred core, meaning that if Akasha dies, it is believed that all vampires would die along with her, unless a new core host was created. The Queen of the Damned also had superhuman senses far beyond any reasonable or logical explanation. She could see for miles when focused on doing so, had perfect vision when in total darkness, and could hear even the faintest of sounds from great distances. This means that Akasha can identify any vampire she's trying to locate by just the sound of their voice or their blood, regardless of her telepathic connection to them. Akasha's ruthlessness came to a head when she awoke from her statue-like state and devised a plan to wipe out 90% of the male population in order to start again. Like many villains, Akasha's arrogance was her downfall, believing herself to be truly undefeatable. She definitely deserves her place on this list at number 2. Number 1. Lestat. The best part of Lestat being number 1 on this list is the fact that none of it happened naturally or over time. Everything that Lestat has achieved, he went and took it for himself. He was no more than 10 years old when he drank Akasha's blood and had his strength enhanced roughly 10 times that of a vampire's age. Lestat was also the only offspring of Magnus, meaning that the core within Magnus was not diluted between several offspring, especially as he committed suicide right after. Lestat was then chosen by Akasha to become her new mate and drank from her frequently, which resulted in him becoming so powerful he would rival even the likes of Marius and Pandora. Lestat's relationship with humans is more of a love-hate one, with him shifting in back and forth, normally an act of violence to initiate the shift. He had several fledglings, but his powers did not weaken in any way afterward. Lestat then took the sacred core into himself from Amikari after she came to him, which in turn made him the new and first King of the Damned, and therefore making Lestat the ultimate weapon, the most powerful vampire in existence, and he took the title of Prince. He had a roller coaster of a life with so many crazy events that have happened. Lestat is the most recognizable character from the Vampire Chronicles, and rightly so, but make no mistake, it's not his fame that puts him at number 1. He really is the most powerful vampire from my perspective anyway. That concludes today's video, everyone. Make sure to comment your own list down below and let me know if there's anyone you'd take out or replace. Be cool about it. I know Cayman wasn't included in this list, or Pandora, Azim, and even Inkill, so feel free to let me know your thoughts down below. Thanks again for watching, hit that subscribe button, let's get to 10k. See you all very soon.